Good morning, everybody. It's the 26th of July, and this morning I'd like to do the G10 FX Cloud Chart market review, looking at the G10 currency pairs from an Ichimoku Cloud Chart perspective. Here's the usual disclaimer. So the currency pairs we'll be covering in this morning's Cloud Chart analysis are the G10 FX pairs. Jumping straight into the Pro Real-Time platform, looking at the Euro US dollar. Here we have an interesting situation. We had a nice sell signal back above the cloud here. It did not find support at the bottom end of the cloud here, and it collapsed all the way down and then rebounded from old cloud chart support levels. We could see these levels down here of November last year came back in as a support level, and then the short position there was covered as soon as we had this rebound here, coming off a low of 1.15. Since then, we had another MACD buy signal and a weak buy signal below the cloud, and we're now grinding slowly towards the bottom end of the cloud here, and we're now fighting this resistance at the bottom end of the cloud. Many levels of resistance to overcome here. These levels of 118 and 118.02 are key levels to watch, as well as front cloud levels of 1.11753. So quite a significant amount of resistance to overcome here as the euro is grinding into the cloud. Just looking at the weekly, we can see here the weekly bottom end of the cloud here came in as a nice support zone for a potential rebound, and now if this rebound continues, we'll see resistance come back in here at 1.1860, depending on on if we get a MACD buy signal here. Note that the front end of the cloud does indicate that there's still some downside to come, since the cloud did do a twist to the downside. So the bottom end of the cloud here is the new resistance zone with potential downside for a retest of the bottom end of the cloud chart level there. But looking for the MACD buy signal to come in here, still not a particularly strong position, and the euro is fighting for support at these levels. Okay. The next one we're looking at is the Australian US dollar. Yeah, very similar situation. We had a nice little short sell here when it sliced through the cloud, didn't find support. Cloud remained a key resistance zone, showing that the downtrend was in place. We still have a downtrend with various little shorter swing trades. The MACD here for May to June was a nice trade, and then another MACD buy from April to the mid-April was another good trade, and then another MACD buy at the bottom end of the cloud here towards the bottom end cloud chart resistance. Now note that you are buying counter trends, so there are quite a lot of risk in these rebound trades. But for those of you that kept the short position intact and looking at this front cloud at 73.90, significant support level here, and if we look back where that level comes from, we can see that dates back right back here to May of 2017. So we're rebounding from those lows, or fighting for support in Australian US dollar at these lows. We've had a MACD buy signal, still grinding. Expect the target here as the top end of the cloud, and the bottom end of the cloud here first, and then the top end of the cloud here at 74.95 is the target for this current trade. Okay. Looking at the weekly is a little bit of spot of trouble here, since we're trading below the cloud. Downtrend is in place. We have this level here as a significant support level, which is currently fighting that support level with downside risk to this low here at 71.40. So there's still some downside risk on the weekly Ichimoku cloud for the Australian US dollar. Okay. Going back to the GDP US dollar, we had a nice little short sell there. After a nice little rally for 3 months, on the long side, we had a short sell when we had a MACD sell at the top end of the cloud. We had a cloud chart sell as well, and then it sliced through the bottom end of the cloud and just continued its drop further. It's now looking to find support at old lows here. We can see we're back at the November of last year of 2017 lows for support here at 130. Potential rebound potential is back up to the bottom end of the cloud here, but overall the trend is still down, as indicated by the front end of the cloud. We've still not seen the twist to the upside here, so the downside risk remain in place. You're trading counter trend if you're buying below the cloud with retracement with relief rallies back up to the bottom end of the cloud. Yeah, okay. So there's our plenty short-term swing trade opportunities there. The weekly cloud for GDP US dollar, very interesting. We're fighting desperately for support here at the bottom end of the weekly cloud. Front end of the cloud indicate early weekly downtrends coming. MACD sell signal created a lovely short sell trade here. Top end of the cloud here is a key resistance zone, and we'll see if this resistance zone here is going to the support level that failed. 132.35 might be the new resistance zone on the weekly cloud, but we'll see how it goes. But so far this was a fantastic short on a weekly cloud chart basis. Okay. New Zealand US dollar. Yeah, we also stuck below the cloud. There was a nice short sell here back in April, and that panned off nicely with short covering here when we had the MACD buy in May. Rebounded nicely, ran into trouble there close to the cloud chart resistance levels, still continued its downside, had another MACD buy at the bottom end of the cloud in July, and is now slowly grinding its way back up, and the target here is the bottom end of the cloud here to see whether this level here of 68.86 is going to come in as a key resistance area. So watching very closely for the New Zealand US dollar there. Short-term upside with long-term downside as we're fighting for support here on a weekly cloud chart basis. We can see we're back to the November lows, we're back to the May lows, and it's going to be interesting to see if these levels are going to hold on a Ichimoku cloud chart basis. Potential rebound potential from this back up to the bottom in the cloud on a weekly basis, but we still haven't had that buy signal on a weekly cloud chart basis. Okay. US dollar CAD, fighting for support at the top end of the cloud, downside risk to the bottom of the cloud here at 129.54, and then once again 129.20, and the next step 128.90. So there's downside risk to the bottom end of the cloud here in the US dollar CAD. Okay. Weekly downside risk, note that level. One spot 28.96 is a key support area at the top end of the cloud. We could see this rally, this weakness continue back down to that level for a potential rebound at that level. Long-term trend is still up on a weekly cloud chart basis. We can see the price actions above the cloud, and the front end of the cloud is still trending upwards. Okay. US dollar Swiss franc fighting for support here at the top in the cloud, potential rebound from these levels if support comes in, so watch them very closely. Not had quite strong signals here from a MACD perspective, but watching very closely if there's going to be a rebound. If not, then it's a short sell back up to the bottom end of the cloud here at 97.96. Very much range bound, not a particularly exciting one. You're not going to get a lot of big swings in this one. It's now at the top end of the trading range, looking for a MACD sell to come in at these resistance levels, so watch that one very closely. US dollar Danish krone also fighting for support at the top end of the cloud. If support fails, we're going to go back down to the first level of support here at 6.288, which is that low, and then the bottom end of the cloud here. So watching very closely to see if we're going to get that a rebound in support. But so far we've had a MACD sell here, and the short sell position is still remaining in place. Weekly, digging into the cloud chart resistance, so there might be some further downside as it resistance resistance holds at these levels. We could come back to this level here of 6.230 and then rebound from there. Watch for the MACD sell signal to come in there. We had a nice little buy here, so this was a good trade, counter trend below the cloud, and the front end of the cloud here is looking like it wants to turn around. It has turned around, but looking like we've got a new uptrend starting, so we're looking at that for a long when the time comes. US dollar Japanese yen, also downside risk towards the top end of the cloud support zone, so watch this 110 level critical support zone. We've had a sell signal on here, so the 110, 109, 110 is the first key levels to watch for support to come in at those levels. Weekly, struggling to get past cloud chart resistance at the top end of the cloud here, so downside risk is back down to the bottom end of the cloud support level at 108.12 zone. So watch this US dollar Japanese yen very closely to see if we're going to get that weakness coming in at these resistance areas. US dollar NOK, Norwegian krona, also fighting for support at the top end of the cloud. Front end of the cloud did a double twist there. We can see we have a little bit of upside there, but could see a rebound here. If the rebound fails, we could see weakness back down to 8.032. So watching very closely to see if this MACD is going to be a sell signal up here, or this buy signal is going to be maintained with upside target of 8.275 and then 8.334 to the upside. US dollar SEK also fighting for support at the top end of the cloud. Yeah, you can see these cloud levels are holding. Potential rebound here with target of the old highs there as the resistance targets if support comes in. If support fails, we're going to look at 8.636 as the next key support zone to the downside. Okay. But this week, more importantly, watching closely to see where the euro will be going. If it's going to continue its rebound from this key support zone on the weekly and on the daily, grinding into resistance. And then the other interesting thing is sterling US dollar also grinding, getting closer to key resistance zone at the bottom end of the chart. Until next time, happy trading.